When I step into this country, this roadless, life-rich mountain landscape called the Great Burn, I'm at once settled, grounded. I breathe in rested rhythms. I think expansively. And even when I am alone, I feel I'm at home. The Great Burn is defined by a humble beauty. Stories nestle into its folds. From its open ridges, you can look out onto a wet, breathing forest and know that you will never know everything there. On a cool morning threatening rain in July of 2016, my friend Nick and I set out to cross the breadth of the burn on foot, running and walking, soaking in sun and rain and fog through one very long day. We would traverse 52 miles of the Bitterroot Crest, traveling the high country of the burn along the Montana-Idaho state line. Our purpose was to immerse into the wild character, the rugged temperament of the place, and bring it back to share with others. We wanted to pull in a new tide of advocates and stewards, a loud chorus of voices to help push towards wilderness designation.
There really isn't anything else like the Great Burn in the Northern Rockies. It's the largest unprotected wild area left in this part of the country that hasn't been designated as wilderness. And in fact, it's among the very largest places in the whole country that the federal government has said should be designated by Congress as a wilderness area someday in the future. And that's not a new thing. They've been recommending that since the late 1970s.
Wilderness for me are pockets in this world that are expressing themselves in honest ways. And if we lose the wild places, then we lose a bit of our planet's honesty and our own honesty. And I'm afraid that if the more we lose that honesty in external environments, the more we internally become dishonest and disassociated with that kind of sincerity.
I think positive experiences in the backcountry are so important, not just because they're personally and spiritually rewarding, but also because if you can share that positive experience with others, you're more likely to create a generation of people who care about wildlands just as deeply as you do. And that kind of community is really important for protecting land that I think we need to protect for a long time.
We didn't really have an idea of how long it was going to take. We set out to be there all day, and it took all day. And our goal was not to cross in a certain amount of time. We weren't going for a fastest time across the burn. We were just going to record it and bring it back with us and share it with others. And I feel like all day, sort of the place, this place, the Great Burn, really sustained me. The Great Burn, as we see it today, is a landscape created by fire. On August 20th, 1910, a gale rose out of the west, merging fires into a tsunami of flame that swept across Montana and Idaho at up to 100 miles per hour. Towns burned down. 87 people died. An area the size of Connecticut was seared down to soil. The Big Burn of 1910 was a tragedy, a wake-up call to a violent force of nature. It has shaped how we respond to fire, how we fear fire. But fire can also preserve and restore. The trees in the burn were not big enough to be cut down during the timber boom. Roads were not dug into the mountains. For a century, this 250,000 acres has seen only footsteps. The forest has returned. When I thought about running across the burn, I immediately thought about running it with Nick Triolo. We've shared hours upon hours together on foot. It's special to be able to pass these miles with a close friend, to talk about the place and share the silence together. We decided to run across the burn because we wanted to move in the lightest way we know how. When you run across wild terrain like this, you become attentive to how temporary you are in the landscape. Life thrives on without you here. As the very language of the Wilderness Act proclaims, you are a visitor who does not remain. You leave only imprints on the trail.